G'day viewers, my name is Michael and welcome back to SingleRacer. And now I must admit that I was a little bit saddened at hearing the news of the passing of the F1 Motorsport Legend, Niki Lauda. Now that's how we would pronounce it in Australia, but I would say Niki Lauda, being of Austrian heritage. And I don't mean that in stirring in any way, that's just how I would have pronounced it. But it was a very sad moment indeed for motorsport. And I think because I'm not an F1 tragic or aficionado in the same way that Ferrariman601 is, but I felt he transcended just F1 motorsport and was a legend through the fact that most people, even if they didn't follow F1, still knew his name and knew who he was. Especially thanks to that fantastic movie that was produced on his life. But speaking of Ferrariman601, I was also extremely impressed with the videos that he did as a tribute to Niki Lauda. And one of the videos was a breakdown over the car and a second attempt at him trying to do a time on the Nordschleife. And those of you that know my channel well know that I do stir him a lot, hopefully in a kind way, especially about beating him in any F1 car in my Arbath 595. But I was intrigued with this because I genuinely felt, and it has nothing to do with stirring, that I could possibly beat him or equal him in this time, because suddenly two factors were in my favour and arguably against his. And those two factors were firstly the gearing, in the sense that I'm not very good at those rapid gear changes you need, especially on the change down to drive a modern F1 car. So I'm talking about where you go bang 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 down each gear very quickly to be in the right gear for the corner. The gearing in this car is a 5-speed, but you arguably handle it almost like a road car. You know, it's not rapid changes, so that works in my favour. The second thing is, probably next to Bathurst, Nordschleife is my second home. I think I know that track inside and out, so I felt confident that this would give me an advantage. Now, what was interesting for me is I love RSR, and would the time that Ferrariman set, or if I beat him, give me a top 50 time on RSR? And that's what I was most interested to find out. And so to wrap it up, what I'll do is I'll have a link to the original video where Ferrariman breaks down all aspects of this brilliant car. And if it's okay with him, what I want to do is do a kind of not only a tribute to Niki Lauda, but a tribute to him as well, because I appreciate all the effort he does in showing me as a non-F1 driver all these fantastic cars that he's put me onto and all these kind of things. So I would like to pay tribute to him as well, in the sense of using the same two basic camera angles. The difference being that I'll be using VR for both of those. So let's now skip to a brief video about the setup in relation to what he did and my slight changes to that setup. But just before we do, an apology, because I have this terrible habit that I'm not really a good speaker in the sense of instant things that come out of my brain, as you can clearly hear. But so you might hear the word, I noticed I say the word again a lot, but I want to talk about specifically after the setup. I want to do a commentary over the lap talking about how I achieved this time, because the important thing, if you're a beginner here, is that you don't have to go so flat out that you barely have control of the car. And I kind of want to prove this fact that although yes, I am going very fast, I appreciate that, but I'm saying to you as a beginner, if you can't match that, Don't worry about your entry speed. Don't worry about being right on the edge to where the car is nearly losing it. Practice going in slowly into the corners and getting good speed coming out, because the important thing where I think I have an advantage over Ferrariman601 is that it suits, that is, the Nordschleifer and the shape of the corners, especially in the fact that as you come out of the corner there's so many downhill straights, that it suits my particular driving style, which is slow in, fast out. So I'll be discussing that, but apologies for if I repeat a lot of things, but I just want to get that point across. So let's head on over now and I'll talk about the setup of the car. Okay folks, so I'm going to run through the setup now because I realised something with the way Ferrariman did it that I wasn't aware of. I actually thought it was a bug and couldn't work it out at first until it, it dawned on me. And that's with the gearing. So the car will essentially be a default car in the sense that both he and I didn't change the aero, the alignment, dampers, nothing like that. It was just a basic setup change. But what he did was he went here from left to right, and what I didn't personally realise was the last thing that he did, if we go, so I'm going to go from right to left, was in the generic option to get the maximum speed he changed the engine limiter to 108. Now if I just show you here, let me go back to the gearing first. The default gearing on 5th gear, actually if I reset to default, is 303. So there's the speed there, 303 as a default gear. But if I now go back, I never realised that, and it should be obvious, but it didn't twig to me that if I set it to 108, I'm giving more power. So the gear ratio changes, see there. Now in my opinion, this can be wasted speed, in the sense that the track doesn't allow you to, unless you have a really fast car like a modern F1 car, the track wouldn't allow you to reach such top speed. So what I do is I change all the gears down, or at least 1 to 4, to maximise the pull out of the corner, and then raise the 5th gear, because one of the downsides of having this set, the engine limiter set to 108, is as soon as you spike the gears you blow up your motor, and I don't want to spend 2 hours picking up the pieces off the road. So I keep that in mind. So let me now show you the setup. So I'll load that and we'll go back. So the first thing is what Ferrariman601 did, which was changed the engine limiter to 108. Right, we didn't touch anything else as far as I know, but what I did was I lowered the fuel more than him. I did have 20, and I worked out that to do 1 lap is 12, roughly around 12 litres, but what I actually found was it almost made the car too light. The effect of having 20 in it seemed to balance the car better or make the car more stable. So I settled on 15, the difference sort of roughly between the two. So I've got 15 litres in. I also put the pressure down, but just on the front. So I think I just want to check that. So 18, if we go to the default, yeah, so it's 2019 by default. And if I load it, I changed that to 1819, being that it's something I learnt from the extra mile, where lowering the front pressure only got you better grip on the front, but still had the sort of the hard solid tyre in the back to get maximum acceleration. Sometimes if you lower the back as well, it can make it a bit sort of sloppy, in other words. And here is my gearing, but my gearing is based around the adjustment of that engine limiter being at 108. So all these are more, the first 4 gears are tighter, and I up the 5th gear to make sure that when I hit the final straight, and there's one important straight here near the beginning, that I didn't hit the maximum revs and blow up the motor. So now that's sorted, and you can copy these if you want to attempt the hot lap. Let's now go to the hot lap itself. Okay folks, so as we get ready for this flying hot lap, excuse me going over the same old ground a lot, but it's important to understand this slowing fast out. And here's the first example where I ease off to get that good run. You know, get a lot of power out of the corner. Here I brake early and let the car settle. I want the car to tell me when it wants to go, not try and force it through the corners. So here's another example. Ease off, let the car turn in, and then flow it. Absolutely brilliant car. Now here, I ease off again, but I roll with the curb. Let the car tell me, or get settled. Here again, ease off, let the car roll, and get settled and power on. Brake at the W, ease off again. Let the car tell me when it's got the grip. It kind of feels the road, and there we go. Now here's a strange one where I actually aim for the left to get spring compression to help me here, turn to the right sharp. That's a little trick that I learned. It just seems to bunker down and get more grip when you want to turn right. Now, because this is set at engine limit 108, I ease off just here a little bit, just so I don't spike the engine, but brake early. Get nice and early. Let the car settle. Now look how slow I go through this. It feels very slow, but it means I can get this power down nice and quick. I'm not fighting the car constantly. Now, coming up are a few crucial corners where this is so important. Here's a great one where I don't try and come flying through. I ease off, let the car settle, almost coasting. Let the car ease off, that's it, through the corner, very slowly, but it's amazing when you feel that it's slow, it's actually quite quick, providing you do it properly. Now, I brake down here, but I do it to balance the car. See, balance, in early, brake early, change down, let the car go through the corner, that's it. Same again here. I let it literally just roll. That's it, roll through the corner. See, it feels slow, but it's amazing. You get all the speed coming out because you're not kicking the car out. That was a bit bad. Yeah, now I did that bad. Normally I change up and change back down for the balance here. But here's a great example. Here's another place that I really made up time. Slow, slow, ease off. See, nice and gentle. Get all your power down now. That's it. I'm getting all the power down. I don't have to do it twice. Here's a crucial one. I have to hit this apex. Hit the apex. That's it. Now change up for speed. And then change back down immediately for balance. See, and I get all that power coming out of the corner. It's fantastic. What a great car this is to drive. I tell you, it's just a phenomenal car. Now here is the trick I learned. I kind of come behind the corner, so I don't hit the apex. I hit after it. See, about 3/4. And that lets me get that run out of the straight. Full bore. Oh, geez, I mucked that up. Too worried about talking. Absolutely botched that. But here's an important one that I learned. This is probably the one corner I got the most advantage of, and that is that there's some guttering on the right hand side, and I make sure I run over that and then hit the apex. So look for the guttering here, hit that, and then hit the apex, and look at that speed coming through. And now I've got the extra runoff if I need it. Absolutely flying, but look how I almost coast into the corner. I sacrificed the speed in, ease off, see, gentle, gentle. Well, that was, see, trying to get the power down's hard, but it lets me get the speed going up the hill. Here I coast again. It's a magic speed of 86. It seems to be about 80 to 86 through here, and then I get all the power down. Now here's my favourite section of the track. Ease off to get the turn in, that's it, power down, but now I change down to get engine braking. Try and get through this gently, oh, she kicked there, see, that was bad. So there's 2 places already I can make up time. but I love this section. You've got to run over this curb, not this one, but this one. Run over that curb. You can do it in almost any car. Roll through that corner. Again, I engine brake, so nice and early. Engine brake, almost very little foot brake, but engine brake again. Engine brake through this. That's it. Now this is a right to Titans corner, so you've got to kind of ease off there. And again, braking early to get that turn in. See, turn in there because it doesn't like that gutter. And I still get a lot of speed coming out. A crucial one here is to brake before the bump, brake down, brake again, and then turn in tight. That's it, and I get all my speed coming out. Slow in, fast out, or what I prefer to call balanced in, fast out. Just got to fly through this section here. God, I tell you, when you get it right, it's absolutely fantastic. But this is a tough one. Here's I brake early to get that turn in and change down early as well to get that, see, it gets that nice roll in the corner. Same kind of thing here, roll in, that's it, beautiful, nice and smooth. Get all the speed coming out. This one's a hairy one because you just don't quite know how fast you can go depending on the car you're driving. But here, try and get a nice run out, that's it. Fly through this. Now this is where, with the engine limiter set to 108, I had the 5th gear. Really look at that beautiful soul sky, isn't that magnificent? But yeah, see, I don't peak the engine here because otherwise it would blow up on me before I get to the end. But I tell you, the nerves on this last bit, when you know you've done a great lap up to this point, really gets to me. I absolutely pack and death that I get this right here. Go through here, that's it. Change down, try and be smooth. That wasn't as good as I usually do, but here I do. Nice and tight again. And can I get a time? Yes, beautiful. Now I'll show you later where that time is good on RSR. But I was so disappointed because they seem to have removed the camera editor from VR mode. I was going to show you Ferrariman's replay in VR mode as we have a look. There's all the pickup on the tyres, isn't that incredible? But so I'm going to do the same camera angle Ferrariman did, and apologies if it feels like I'm copying him, but I meant to do it in VR, but they've taken it out of Content Manager. Or there's a button I can't find to tick to bring it back because it used to be there and now is no longer. So this is Michael signing out for SingleRacer. I'll catch you next time. See you later, and let's do a tribute to Ferrariman as well.